Hi, welcome back. Today I want to do a video of some pickups that I did here on my vinyl collection. Right now the collection that I just picked up is a Pat Benatar collection. One of the first ones I want to talk about is the Get Nervous album. This album all these are actually original pressings from the 80s. This one still has the shrink wrap from the 80s on it. So it's got the sticker showing some songs here. Shadows of the Night. That video, you know, it's got some famous actors in that video. But watch that video, see if you can pick out the actors that are in there. But this one, it even has Certificate of Authenticity still in there to join their club from back then. But this album, very good album. You know, I don't know if I could listen to this entire album beginning to end, but there are some very good songs on it. I do really dig this cover. The cover is really cool. Her and her straitjacket there. Very good album. The next Pat Benatar album I want to show is actually 7 The Hard Way. This is a great album from the 80s also. This one actually has a song that's on a movie, The Legend of Billie Jean. That's a great movie if you haven't seen it. But this album, the song that is on The Legend of Billie Jean is actually Invincible here. It even says theme song from The Legend of Billie Jean on there. The album art is pretty cool. You know, it looks pretty good. You know, it's got, looks like a printed image maybe. And some torn paper, torn stuff, some stapled things there. Pretty cool cover. This next Pat Benatar album is actually the Tropico album. On this album, the main song that I know on here is We Belong. That is a decent song. Here's the back of the cover. On this album, really that's the only song that I know off of this album that I actually heard when I was a kid. And this music is all before my generation. My generation is obviously the 90s with Nirvana and other bands like that. But I have been on this kick of going back and looking at 80s music. But this is an album I do recommend. I really only know one song off of it though. And this next Pat Benatar album is Precious Time. It's the first Pat Benatar album that I did pick up actually. I picked this up at a Third and Charles store for like $2. And the record had a ton of fingerprints on it, but I did clean the record, and the record is pristine. But you got the front cover here, and then you got the back cover here. You know, pretty good cover. That's one reason I've started collecting records, is I do like looking at the album art, and sometimes you get some extras like in a gatefold album. This album though, the one song that I do like the most is actually Fire and Ice. You know, this album is from, let's see, because this is an original pressing from 1981, the year I was born. It's still got kind of a 70s style to it a little bit, but Fire and Ice, great song. I recommend checking out that song. But this album was the first album that I truly bought. The other first album I bought, I have another video on that. Something I do want to show, all the Pat Benatar albums, I have cleaned them. And I have them actually in this new kind of hard, thick protector here. And obviously I picked up a package of Mobile Fidelity sleeves to put the records in. And I actually keep them packaged what I do, I'm just going to put the Precious Time album back in this sleeve here, is I put the album in like that, and then the record is on the back in the MoFi sleeve. What this does is something that happens with the record being in the sleeve, and then you cram it in a shelf with other records. With this record, may not show it in the video, but there's some ring wire there, up here, and a little bit down here from where the record was being pushed against the sleeve of the record. But yeah, do any of you like Pat Benatar? You know, I do need to get still her 2 first albums, and I do need to get her live album that has Love is a Battlefield only on that live album. But obviously I'll show video when I do eventually find those. But let me know what you think. Do you recommend any other Pat Benatar albums? I honestly want to only get her music that's mainly in the 80s. I know there's music in the 90s and the late 90s. I've listened to some of it. I honestly don't really care for it. It's mainly her 80s discography that I want to collect. Let me know. Comment below of some music that you collect on vinyl or CD. I do have some CDs. But let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.